I remember taking an English class my first year in college, and I wrote some kind of silly short stories. And then I wrote a Blue Book essay on Billy Budd. And it was that essay that really turned me into a writer, because it was the first time I actually wrote something that came from my heart. I felt a sense of injustice in Billy Budd. The teacher took the essay and read it in front of the class. And he said, "I wish all my students could write like this." That was the light bulb moment for me. It's like, maybe I can do this. When I saw The Night Stalker, I was a young teenager, and I just remember it being not just the scariest thing I'd ever seen on TV, but it was the best thing I'd ever seen on TV. I was so excited by it. It was the spirit of that show that I think lived and was part of the heart of the X-Files.
Agent Scully, thank you for coming on such short notice. Please. Are you familiar with the so-called X-Files?
I believe they have to do with unexplained phenomena.
X-Files idea dealt with aliens and alien abduction. When we pitched this idea, and they turned it down. I had gone on vacation at that time, and I happened to meet a guy, and I was telling this guy about the project. And he said, "You know, I have a survey done by a guy named Dr. John Mack, and it's a scientific survey about alien abduction. Would you like to read it?" I realized it's my perfect pitch to go back in and sell the X-Files to the Fox network. They either liked the pitch, or they just to get rid of me, and they bought the show. But I still don't think they knew what they had at that point.
The reason you're here, Agent Scully, is we want you to assist Mulder on these X-Files.
Am I to understand that you want me to debunk the X-Files project, sir?
Agent Scully, we trust you'll make the proper scientific analysis.
I think the X-Files was the first time I had a chance to write what I would consider to be the sort of two distinct sides of my personality. I'm a skeptic by nature. I have a bias toward science. And then I am a person who is looking for what I would call a religious experience. So it was really those two parts of me that I got to express in these two characters, Mulder and Scully.
What I find fantastic is any notion that there are answers beyond the realm of science. The answers are there. You just have to know where to look.
That's why they put the I in FBI.
The road to success is always, I think, paved with many obstacles, and it actually makes you work harder. It's because I actually had to go back, think about what it is that I was pitching, what I wanted to do, that I ultimately got to make the pilot. The pilot process was really difficult. I kept getting notes from the studio saying there's not enough sexual tension. I kept saying, no, it's good, and I kept getting pushback.
Mulder, what are they?
Mosquito bites.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I got eaten up a lot myself out there.
That pilot episode had something in it that presented us with the chance to tell a long-running story about two characters who obviously had love for one another. The secret to the show was that Mulder loved Scully and Scully loved Mulder.
You okay?
Yes.
I don't think it was the critical response that really made us a hit in the end. It was really the fans. The internet is brand new, and we're getting immediate feedback through these chat rooms. And so we see that we're actually striking a chord, and there are rabid fans, enough that it actually gets us supercharged, that we are connecting with our audience, and we know it in real time. That's a big deal.
I'm not making this up. It all fits a profile of alien abduction.
This fits a profile.
Yeah, Peggy Odell was killed at around 9 o'clock. That's right around the time that we lost 9 minutes on the highway. I think that something happened in that 9 minutes. I think the time, as we know it, stopped, and something took control over it. You think I'm crazy?
You could tell the scariest stories you wanted week after week, but if you didn't make those emotional connections with the characters, and they didn't make them with each other, you weren't tending to the heart of the show.
This is the object described by Billy Miles as a communication device. I removed it from the exhumed body. I kept it in my pocket. It was the only piece of evidence not destroyed in the fire. I ran a lab test on it. The material could not be identified.
Agent Mulder. What are his thoughts?
Agent Mulder believes we are not alone.
During the course of our 9th season was the World Trade Center bombing. America changed, like overnight. Suddenly, when you're telling these stories about government conspiracies and about a government that you can't trust, to people who want to do nothing but trust their government, everyone sensed that something had changed. We decided to pull the plug, which is a very emotional thing for me. I actually kind of was a wreck, I'd say, for the last half of that 9th season. The X-Files was a cult show that became a mainstream cult show, a big cult show. You got to write what you were interested in and people watched it. Simply, every week. That is the dream come true.
Listen, we lost 18 games in a row. And every game before the game, I had to make our team believe that we were going to win that game.